Hi, my name is Jerry Wise. Today I'd like to present a video entitled 7 Keys to Learning How to Empathize. Empathy is a real problem these days for marriages, for relationships, in politics, and in lots of areas of our society. I work primarily with marriages and couples, and I also work with families and helping people to grow within their family of origins so that they can be healthier, happier people. This video came out of a need that I saw in individuals who struggled with the skill of empathy. I work with a lot of folks who are adult children of dysfunctional families, and empathy is a real problem. Many times individuals have not had the experience of empathy in their lives and have difficulties practicing it in their relationships. It does not come naturally. Well, let me share, what is empathy? Empathy is the ability to feel and share another person's emotions. I mean that in a healthy way. I think many times codependents are overly fused with other people and feel into and share into other people's emotions and feelings. The problem is they're not aware of their own, and that ends up being hyper empathizing with a very low ability to be aware and express your own emotions, creating a problem we call codependency. Empathy is a healthy ability to feel and share another person's emotions while being a self and being a healthy you. Some believe that empathy involves the ability to match another's emotions, while others believe that empathy involves being tender-hearted towards another person. There are a number of definitions regarding empathy, but empathy is very important for communication, and particularly for relationship communication. Since empathy involves understanding and sharing emotional states of other people, this skill is essential for healthy and happy marriages with less conflict. Well, first of all, I wanted to share, why is empathy or empathizing so hard? These reasons are the most common that I have found. People have trouble empathizing because they feel, if I empathize, I feel I become vulnerable. If I take your side or understanding your side, it makes me far too vulnerable. And so I stay on my side, working hard not to empathize. Second, if I empathize, it weakens my position because it proves that I agree with you. Many people see empathy as a sign of agreement. Again, if I understand your thoughts, understand your feelings, and share and understand what's going on with you emotionally, I therefore must agree with you. So since I cannot agree with you, because I may not agree with you, then I don't empathize. Because that would make me too vulnerable. That would also give up my position or my beliefs. Some believe that empathy is an expression of personal weakness. If I don't stay strong in my position, which means not empathizing with you, then I am being weak. If I empathize with someone, I am somehow being soft or weak in the relationship. Another reason why I think empathizing can be so difficult, particularly in marriage relationships, if I empathize with you, I will have to deal with my fears. Because one problem I might have is that if I shared your belief, understood your emotions, it might tap into fears, struggles, feelings that I don't wish to tap into. so I do not empathize. Again, it's too threatening to empathize, so we don't. Another reason, if I empathize, it would be too intimate, and I am allergic to intimacy. A lot of folks have grown up with an allergy to an allergy to intimacy, and as a result, they cannot empathize because it would make a couple or them in the relationship become too close, too real. And empathy has a way of warming up a relationship, bringing two people together when you empathize, and that just may be too much intimacy. And their allergy to intimacy is just too great, so I just can't empathize. What are some of the things that get in the way of empathy? I think having a past experience of hardly ever being empathized with. Folks who grew up in their family of origin and there was very little empathy going on, especially in dysfunctional families, they had little modeling or experience for empathy. So they just really don't know how to do it. They haven't seen it work. They haven't seen how healthy and helpful and warm it feels. And so they just don't have that experience. Some have never learned how to empathize. They weren't taught how do you empathize. Parents didn't say, now when your friend was doing that, let me tell you what you might do, or let me share with you how they might have been thinking or feeling. Parents having not taught that, then the child doesn't learn that as readily. So they have never learned how to empathize, and maybe not even know how to do it. Past abuse can get in the way of empathy. Depression can get in the way of empathy. Counterdependency gets in the way of empathy. Again, if I tend towards a more narcissistic way of looking at the world, it's me-centered, then I have a hard time kind of understanding your part of the world. Because basically my world is what matters, not yours. And that's counterdependency or narcissism. Mood disorders can cause real problems for intimacy because often folks with mood disorders or depression and such, they don't have the insight to do that. Too much anxiety can create difficulties for empathy. Growing up feeling unlovable, growing up feeling unforgivable. If we don't feel lovable and we don't feel forgivable, it is very difficult to empathize with other people. It is just too painful to do that. So let me talk about how can we learn how to empathize. Empathy is not difficult, it just takes practice. Simply, if I thought that way that you think, or saw things the way you see them, I could understand the way you feel. And that's a statement of empathy. If I saw the world from your eyes, I probably would feel that way and think that way. That's empathizing. So what are 7 keys to empathizing? The first key is you got to choose to want to. If you don't want to, you're not going to do it. So we have to choose to will ourselves to be empathetic and to empathize more with those around us or our spouse. Second of all, bracket your thoughts, feelings, and conclusions or arguments and set them on the shelf temporarily. This may not be easy. If we've had a lot of trouble with enmeshment, fusion, dysfunction, it's kind of hard to step outside our own conclusions, thoughts, and feelings. But that can be learned. But first we can work on bracketing them. For right now, and I'm going to practice that, I'm going to set my feelings, emotions, and thoughts over here on the shelf and try to understand yours. That's a very good work, and it will pay off greatly if we practice that. Then after we've bracketed our own thoughts, feelings, emotions, and conclusions, choose the other side. Argue their case mentally. Take their side mentally and emotionally. Take their side It doesn't mean you don't have your side. It doesn't mean you don't have your experience. But empathy is about taking their side for the moment. Fourthly, learn how to listen or practice active listening. Listen for their feelings and how it would connect to their logic, and how their feelings would connect to their thoughts. In other words, if you thought I was trying to hurt you, then I could understand why you might feel hurt. Now, that doesn't mean I was trying to hurt you, but I can understand if you thought that. I can understand how you could feel this. And again, that's empathy. I'm feeling into your experience. Fifthly, examine where you learned not to empathize. Do your family of origin work of recovery. That will help you with empathy. Sixth, deal with your anger, resentment, hurt, feelings of betrayal, and look for emotional triangles. Me, them, and them, or it. We often get involved in emotional triangles, which makes it much more difficult for us to empathize. But if we deal with our anger, our resentment, it allows us to empathize with others more. And again, the more we hurt, the less we feel good about ourselves, the more difficult it is to feel into and care about the thoughts and feelings of others. In other words, our bucket is empty. How am I going to hear your bucket or even understand your bucket? So we have to deal with our bucket first so I can empathize more. Seventh, think counterintuitively. In other words, what is not logical or rational or follows in a logical way for your way of thinking. Don't think about how you think and feel. Think about the opposite. In other words, if I'm thinking, well, I didn't try to hurt them, why would they feel hurt? I wasn't trying to hurt them at all. I can't even imagine that. Counterintuitive thinking and feeling would be, if I were to think I was being hurt, then I could understand how I might feel hurt. That's counterintuitive to the way you are thinking and feeling. Because you're thinking and feeling, I absolutely did not hurt them and wouldn't, and that's just nutty. But that's not empathy. Empathy requires us to see it from their eyes, to stand in their shoes, and to feel it from their, and to see the movie from their seat in the movie house, not from our seat. And again, just because I empathize doesn't mean I agree. Because I can say, if you thought I was hurting you, I can understand why you might feel hurt. Whereas I know inside that there was no desire or intention for me to do that at all. So I still hold my position and conclusions, but I'm putting those in abeyance. I'm setting them aside while I'm caring about you and how you see the world. That's empathy. I want to share with you a good website if you want a resource. There's a great one by Peter Garriott. I'm not sure how to say his name. He's a social worker from Portland, Oregon, and it's called Break the Cycle. And I think he's got some really good tips and helps regarding empathizing. And you might go to his website and it could be of help to you. I hope you've enjoyed the video today. I hope you'll join our website, YouTube website, and give me a call if I can be of help. I do in-office and online therapy. Watch my other free videos, and I want to thank you for listening. Have a great day.